conducted as part of South Asia Circular Economy Forum that is happening for the first time in Pakistan. And we are really grateful to our partner organization, IGES, for supporting this forum and for bringing together so many, technical expertise. They're also supporting the government of Pakistan in context of National Circular Economy Policy. I'll introduce the panel and then I'll hand over to Dr. Honda, Dr. Shunichi Honda, who has also joined us all the way from Japan. He's joined us from United Nations Environment Program, IETC from Japan, and he has also been providing technical support for different projects that we are doing with UNEP, especially around plastics recycling, circularity, etc. So I'll introduce the panel. We have Dr. Lakmini Fernando from IPS Sri Lanka, because the title of the session is Designing the Transition for a Circular Economy in South Asia. So when we talk about South Asia, we are really glad that as part of 16th South Asia Economic Summit, we have invited South Asian leadership from different think tanks, from government, because it's important that we work towards integrating this region, which is least integrated as of now. And we have the speakers who will be sharing their expertise, their experience, and how the regional perspective that sometimes, because we are sitting in Pakistan, we might not be knowing the ground realities that exist in Sri Lanka, that exist in Bangladesh, around informal sector, around the private sector, because these two sectors are the key when we talk about circular economy transition. And most of the time we skip the informal sector when we are talking about this transition. So it's extremely important we discuss that. And then we have with us Dr. Pham Bao from IGES Japan, who has an expertise in context of the overall ASEAN region around circular economy, and he'll be sharing how they're working in the ASEAN region for circular economy transition. And then we have Mr. Muhammad Shafqat, who is the CEO of Pakistan Textile Council. Now, there's an interesting debate that we initiate when SDPI talks about circular economy. People think that it is only about plastics. It is not only about plastics. Circularity is essentially about designing a product in a way that its waste is reduced or minimized. So it has to be connected with all the sectors that generate waste. So textiles, because it is one of the sectors, the export-oriented sectors, contributed towards GDP of the country. So we'll be listening, how does the textile sector perceive circularity, and what could be their challenges and the way forward. And then we have Ms. Farheen Zahoor. She is the GM ESG at Yunus Textile Mills Limited. Again, a company that is one of the largest exporters in the Asia region. And they have their reporting that they have to report under ESG. And so, like so many other companies, they need to ensure that they're following sustainability transition, etc. But when there is no regulatory framework and when there are barriers coming up from the policy side, how they can transition towards circularity, that is the question that we'll be asking. And what challenges they think can overcome their progress or can affect their progress. Then we have Mr. Sheikh Waqar Ahmed, who is representing Nestle Pakistan as well. He's representing, he's the CEO for Core Alliance, which is Pakistan's largest packaging alliance, and they're working towards ensuring circular economy in the country. So I think we are covering all sectors, the regional perspective, textiles, and then the plastics, and how the private sector engagement can be ensured. We have also other participants. We'll be opening the floor after the session for questions from private sector. We have Tetra Pak. We have Anam from Urban Unit. She is from Punjab, who is managing, who is doing a lot of work in context of waste sector, and they're the data feeding body basically for the government of Punjab. And then we have so many other speakers, participants. Dr. Kumara is here as well, and we'll be opening the floor so we can have your input. With this, and also sorry, I forgot to introduce basically the session chair, Mr. Dhaniram Sharma, who is joining us online. So, Mr. Dhaniram Sharma, we will request you that you chair the session, and then you provide your input in the end as well in the start. So, if you all allow me, and then I'll hand over the session to Dr. Honda. Mr. Dhaniram Sharma has special remarks, and I'll request if you share your input in the end as well as session chair. So we'll start with you, Mr. Dhaniram Sharma, please. Mr.
Thank you
Dhaniram.
so much. Thank you. Am I audible? No? It's okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank
You're
you.
audible.
Thank you so much. Distinguished all the participants, speakers, moderator. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to share this very pertinent issue, the debate on this pertinent issue, designing the transition to a circular economy in South Asia. The transition to a circular economy is not just an environmental imperative, it is a strategic pathway to achieve sustainable growth, climate resilience, and social inclusion across South Asia. It is about doing more with less, designing waste out of products, keeping materials in use for as long as possible, and regenerating our natural system rather than depleting them. So this transition requires deep structural shifts in how our economies operate. It means redesigning products for durability, modernizing industrial processes, adopting low carbon technologies, and managing waste as a valuable resource rather than a burden. Across the world, circular economy strategies are transforming industries from Europe's Green Deal to Japan's resource efficiency reforms. In South Asia, the circular transition complements our energy transition, scaling renewable, reducing fossil fuel dependency, and fostering cleaner, smarter growth. So in South Asia, there are several sectors that offer immediate and high impact entry points for circular economy. The first one could be agriculture and food system. As you know, our region produce almost a quarter of the world's food. At up to 40% food is lost post-harvest due to insufficient logistics and storage. Let me give you an example of Nepal. In Nepal, farmers' cooperatives are piloting circular models, turning dairy waste into biogas and using digest as organic fertilizer, linking food security with waste valorization. I know in India, projects converting crop residues into biocompressed natural gas that have reduced open burning and air pollution. In Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, Pakistan, organic waste to compost and biogas initiatives are creating green jobs and lowering methane emissions. Energy and low carbon technology is another entry point. The region's growing population and manufacturing base make energy efficiency very vital. Nepal is emphasizing hydropower expansion, which not only replaces traditional energy in the country, but also supports clean energy in the region, in the sub-region. The clean energy trade between Nepal and India and also with Bangladesh is already in place. We have also encouraged solar and wind energy. I found that Bangladesh rooftop solar program and Pakistan's pilot projects on industrial symbiosis, where one company's waste, heat, or materials become another's input. How energy efficiency and collaboration can cut cost and emission. The another point could be waste management and materials recovery. Urban waste remains one of the India's one of the South Asia's biggest challenges, but also one of the greatest opportunity. India's Swachh Bharat mission and the extended producers responsibility framework for plastics and e-waste have laid a foundation. In Pakistan, social enterprises are converting plastic waste into modular housing panels. In the Maldives, island level waste to energy system are being developed to close material loops within the fragile island ecosystem. So these initiatives demonstrate that circularity can create jobs, reduce pollution, and strengthen local economies, particularly when linked with the small and medium-sized enterprises. So to accelerate this kind of private sector engagement to promote circular economies, governments can deploy a smart mix of fiscal, financial, and regulatory tools. I would like to mention these tools here. The one policy instrument would be tax rebate, how and low interest loan for circular manufacturing and eco design. South Asian countries have already initiated these initiatives, which should be intensified. Nepal has implemented tax incentives to promote electric vehicles, which is a strong signal for encouraging green and clean technology. So another policy is green or sustainable public procurement that ensure public contracts favor recycled or manufactured goods. Third policy should be innovation grant for startup in repair, reuse, and material substitution. We have the road to COP26 innovation grant program in Nepal that supported new innovative ideas for sustainable businesses in Nepal that harness nature-based and aircraft-related solutions, including upcycling and material innovation. So the another policy measures would be differential weight tariff to reward recycling and penalizing landfilling. So India's production-linked incentives could be expanded to encourage circular product design in electronics and automotive motive industries. So without coherent policies and predictable regulations, businesses remain hesitant to invest. Strong governance, clear targets, and harmonized standards are essential to scale circular practices beyond pilot projects. So another very important issue is education, skill, and infrastructure. Successful circular transition rests on knowledge and skill. Universities and technical institutes must integrate circular design, life cycle thinking, and eco-innovation into circular curricula. Vocational training can upskill workers for repair, remanufacturing, and materials recovery. At the same time, South Asia needs enabling infrastructure, recycling parks, repair centers, reverse logistics systems, investment in digital technology such as product passports, material tracking, and digital marketplaces for secondary materials can further strengthen transparency and accountability. So in conclusion, the circular economy offers three key outcomes in South Asia. One is economic competitiveness, second is environmental sustainability, and third is social inclusion. It challenges us to rethink not only how we produce and consume, but how we cooperate as a region. So with coherent policy frameworks, bold leadership, and inclusive partnership, South Asia can emerge as a global leader in circular innovation, building an economy that keeps materials in motion, people in work, and nature in balance. So let us design this kind of transition together for South Asia, where growth, people, and the planet thrive in harmony. Thank you so much. So please move forward. I'm happy to share this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dhaniram Sharma, for sharing your remarks and especially your thoughts around what should the South Asia circular economy policy look like. And thank you for accepting the request to join us, Chair. We'd be asking you to for your remarks in the end as well. So, Dr. Shunichi Honda, I hand over the session to you to moderate it formally, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Zaina, for kind facilitation at the beginning of our session. Thank you so much. So I am Shunichi Honda, so you can forget my first name. So you can call me Honda, easy. You can never forget my name. And I am coming from the United Nations Environment Program, in charge of waste management, but I have to say, I am in charge of circular economy towards, including waste management, because UNEP has been promoting circular economy type approach for waste management. And then this is quite a good timing for us, for me to facilitate or moderate this session, because we are going to organize the 7th United Nations Environment Assembly in the first week of December, where we further promote circular economy approach, not only for upstream management, but also downstream management. But of course, next week, it would be tough negotiation for the climate COP anyway, including circular economy approach. And before we start our panel discussion, so let me little bit put some introduction. So for last, let's say 48 hours here, we have had a lot of expertise, knowledge, also latest knowledge, advanced knowledge on circular economy approach, and examples that the panelists and the presenters shared kindly with us. So absolutely circular economy approach, circular economy, shifting from linear economy to circular economy is a key, not only for just resource management, but also for 3 planetary crises: the climate issue, biodiversity loss, and the pollution. So next, we have 15 minutes around about our panel discussion. So I'd like to ask each speaker to share your latest advanced approach, example, practices, knowledge, whatever, how your organization, your work, your research work, to design the transition to a circular economy in our region, because there are so many examples, or advanced examples of circular economy transition in European countries, Japan, other high-income countries. We may be able to refer those good examples, but we cannot copy and paste. We have to find our original approach, how our society can be shifted from linear economy to circular economy within national context, well, within your business model, within your research work, within your behavior and cultures. So let's first share those examples among panelists first. Then if we have the time, I'd like to open the floor after panelists shared their knowledge to everyone to further have discussions. So then let me ask each speaker. So I'm going to ask the simple question, but could you share your thoughts on the theme of this session, designing the transition to a circular economy in South Asia in your context within 4 minutes, because we have only limited time. And so we have only 4 minutes for your time to share your thoughts. Then first, let me ask Lakshmini, sitting next to me. So as the researcher and working for the research institute, so how do you design the transition to circular economy in our regions?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. And in order to answer your question, I would like to give some background information from my country perspective as well. So, because I'm from Sri Lanka, our country is now have recovered from our debt default situation, and it was the debt default was in 2022, and this is 2024, 2025. There are signs of economic recovery, but unfortunately the economy is still fragile. So we are under IMF 4-year extended fund facility program, and it is the 17th program. So there was 16 and now it is 17. And when it comes to the transition from linear to circular economy, at this moment, this is actually not a high priority for my country, because we have to deal with thousands of other problems. I don't know whether it is the same for the other South Asian economies, because when it comes to development priorities, your budget is allocated most of the time for infrastructure, and for the social sectors like education, health, it is not much. However, in South Asia, including Sri Lanka, we have some very preliminary, some sort of this is embedded in our culture as well. Circular economic initiatives are there. And in the government also, there are many institutions who follow them. But unfortunately, there is no integration. Much of the things are scattered. So as a researcher, what I am seeing that if we wanted to design a policy, but we can't, as you said, we can't get Japanese or EU model as it is. We need to adapt it according to our country context, because the Sri Lankan situation is very much different to Pakistani, maybe Bangladesh. Their requirements are different. So we need to have a wider consultation. And we need to identify what are the priority sectors. And maybe my priority sector is not as the same for another country. So from November 1st, actually, we have started this ban on single-use plastics. And it is to, this is not the time for us to evaluate whether it is a successful thing. But if you go for like sectors like food, organic food, there is high post-harvest losses. And as Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, garment and textile sector, our economies are very much dependent on these sectors. But what is the circularity? There is a lot of issues in these areas. And if we think about digitalization, the countries are going towards this one. South Asia region, although India is a extreme case, we are very lagging behind. We wanted to convert our economies into digitalization, but what about the e-waste? And there are certain, under certain governments, we used to be like a dumping spot for the, high income economies. So there are so many things we need to understand, the political economic considerations. And another very important thing is how the policymakers will take these circular economy aspects when it comes to, if you wanted to implement these things, these need to be like budgeted. If we like wanted to get the private sector participation, we need to have these in our national frameworks, national agendas. And if we wanted to talk to external funding partners, development partners, we need to have understanding on what we can do in the medium term, short term, and long term. But without that clear understanding, it's little tricky for countries like Sri Lanka to initiate this kind of things. But it doesn't say that we are not into this one, because very recently we have started a project with, that's a EU-funded project the government has started, and we are trying to go with the eco-labeling, that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, again, when it comes to implementation again, the governance, capacity building, these are some of the issues that we need to address. Because although as an Asian country, Japan, China are way above, we need to improve, because without the public sector, we can't get these things into implementation. They need to aware what they are doing. So capacity gaps, that's a big issue as well. So these are the things actually I have. And the other thing is, if we can because for South Asian and for Global South, the public debt levels are increasing. And although this is borrowing is one of the preferred way of financing the budget deficit, if we can think about non-borrowing mechanisms, and if we can be a little innovative, maybe with the circular economy activities, we can bring these things into table and get these things more implementable. That's how I feel like when it comes to you're going for development partners or with the government discussions, we need to make these things more practical for the people in our region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point because as you mentioned, the priorities is different among the countries. And then probably Sri Lanka need to develop economy first for coming years. But in terms of that situation, we can't forget about the environment protection, including, let's say, circular economy. So that would be, I think, one of the common challenges among the South Asia countries. So thank you so much for your input. Then let me ask the same question, Bao. You work for also research institute, but probably different from Rafumini, because my understanding is that IGES first try to analyze the latest or advanced system, like EPR, other system in European countries, other countries, then try to identify the gap between the countries which can implement such level and the country who need to develop own system, like EPR, circular economy. So could you share your experiences or your research approach to design transition from linear economy to circular economy in terms of the research work? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Una-san, for your interesting questions, but it's not easy to answer straightforward. So let me try to share some initial thought, especially based on our experience in supporting many countries in ASEAN, not only at the national level, but also at the local level. For example, I just been working with several governments in ASEAN, for example, government of Vietnam or some other Cambodia and Laos and so on, to develop some kind of national policy or action plan to promote their circular economy and so on. Of course, the name may be different. Like in Vietnam, they call it National Action Plan on Sustainable Consumption and Production, but it's based on the circular economy's principle. So I think that's based on our experience, we recognize that it's not, there's no kind of single kind of policy mechanism which can be effectively to, to support, to move the markets, especially toward the circular economy. And our observation in ASEAN, we recognize that there's normally many countries often utilize a kind of integrated kind of policy toolkit. It's a combination within law and also some other mechanism such as green public procurement, EPR, and so on. But what I mean is, what I want to share is a law. I mean, especially a national circular economy or relevant law, which is very important. It provides kind of foundations for the country. The law itself do not directly facilitate to move the market directly, but it kind of provide a kind of long-term political visions and also a kind of investment security necessity that support for other mechanisms to work. So I think that is one of the first observations that I want to share, especially in Japan. You know very well that Japanese government already introduced the basic acts on establishing a sound material cycle society in 2000. And also similarly in Korea. Korea also introduced framework acts on resource circulation a little bit later, 2018, something like that. So this kind of laws play a very role to identify a clear responsibility of different stakeholders. Not only the state, the government, but also the citizens, the business sector, and also they set up some kind of long-term kind of targets, not qualitative, quantitative targets, to encourage the industry to move forward, to invest more on the circular business model and so on. So that is the first thing. The second point is I mentioned that based on our observation, especially in Japan, GPP, Green Public Procurement mandate is quite also identified as a very powerful tool, which can have a kind of have a powerful direct demand. I mean, facilitate the demand side. Facilitate the demand side. So then in country like Japan, so by obligating the public institution to purchase a circular or green product, so we can create a kind of market as well. So that is another point I'd like to share with you. You mentioned about the EPR. Yes, EPR also currently getting more and more attentions. Actually, EPR and also already introduced in Korea and in Japan, and now getting more attention. And country in the ASEAN also now start to adopt, like for example, in the Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, and so on. So, but the EPR is a kind of considered as a kind of potential supply side lever. I mean, to driving the upstream design innovations you mentioned and so on. So that is also another aspect that can contribute to the realize of the circular economy. The other aspect is about the especially mentioned about at regional level. I think the important I like to highlight important of standard harmonizations because it's also a kind of considered as a kind of extensor markets lubricants, to facilitate the adaptation of the product and facilitate the business trading among the country. So that is another point. And the last point is I think you mentioned already, so I'm not highlight, is a localization. We cannot just copy and paste the EPR approach from country like Japan or Korea to the country in South Asia or ASEAN, because we understand that in our country, like in South Asia or in ASEAN, the informal sector is play a very important role. It's quite a significant role. So without considering the informal sector, like for example in waste sector, the informal waste picker and junk shop and so on. So the system will fail. I mean the EPR will not work well. So this kind of point we need to consider when we design such kind of policy at the national level and also local level as well. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Bao, for your input. Yes, so you shared your approach based on some of the examples in Japan, particularly because you are based in Japan. And then also EPR, that EPR is one of the key words, but also I have same question from others. How can we apply for EPR where we don't have any producers? But anyway, that was one of the key points for our discussions. And green public procurement also important because the public sectors procure a lot of products.
Yeah.
But normally they see only the cost so far. Yeah. But we cannot forget about externality. Just economic cost is not appropriate approach. So we have to consider the externality, how we can also cover externality within the green public procurement. Then I saw that those are quite important. Then your research work would be able to organically link among the those appropriate for each situation in a city, B city, a country. So that would be great opportunity for the South Asian regions that as Rukmini says, Sri Lanka is struggling how to find the proper approach for circular economy, but I just may be able to support Sri Lanka government to find the right way towards circular economy. So that would be a great opportunity for among us actually. So thank you so much for your input. So then we are two experts, participants, panelists from the industries. So first I'd like to ask Mohammed from the Pakistan Textile Council, because we understand textile industry is first industry after first industrial revolution more than 200 years ago. And the textile industry is also one of the largest industry around the world. And we do rely on textile, our daily life. And without the textile industry, we didn't see the current economic development. But on the other hand, until recently, textile industry usually only saw the immediate result to respond to demands from the request. But nowadays, because of the EPR and other environmental issues, textile industry also started taking responsibility for the environment. So let me ask the same question, but could you respond to your context? So how does textile industry, well, Pakistan Textile Council design the transition from linear economy to circular economy in South Asia. So could you share your view on that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Honda. Before directly answering to what you have asked, I would like to, shortly share some thoughts on this whole idea. As in the beginning of your introduction, you mentioned that we need to shift from a linear economic model to a circular economic model. Linear economic model being wherein you take from the environment or earth and you use them and you simply dispose them. And in the circular part, we simply move from linear to, we enter into a closed loop economy. I, being a representative of the exporters of textile sector in Pakistan, this shift will require a lot of work, a lot of support from all the stakeholders, not only inside Pakistan, but also globally. Because as Ms. Fernando was mentioning that in Sri Lanka, we have different priorities because of our economic situation, because they are in an IMF program right now. Same like Sri Lanka, Pakistan is also in an IMF program. When we gauge the performance of a country, we see the numbers coming out of that country. We see the export numbers coming out of that country. Right now, when you are trying to understand the performance of Pakistan, you will be looking at what are the exports of Pakistan currently. If I shift to a circular economy, wherein it is demanded that instead of producing a textile, maybe jeans or home textile, that has the life of 1 year, it is being expected that I make it more durable. Durable means that if previously it had a life of 1 year, I should make it into something that can be used for 2 years or 3 years or more. At the other side, it is also expected that it should be designed in a way that there should be a whole ecosystem of repairing that jeans or that whole system. If I'm exporting to, for instance, European Union, and I make something which is very durable, it is expected that if I'm selling, for instance, just a fictitious number for our understanding, if I'm selling 6 jeans right now, they're expecting me to sell 3 jeans in future because the jeans will be now more durable and I'll be, selling less. At the same time, they're expecting from the economy in the European Union and in the world that, using fast fashion is a bad thing. Consuming more is a bad thing. And instead of buying 1 jean from Pakistan, you should be, buying half a jean, or if you are buying 2 jeans, I should be buying 1 jean. So when that actually happens, what will happen to my export numbers? For a country in Pakistan, which is already in trade deficit, we expect that, you produce durable products, and instead of earning 1 billion in 1 year, you want to earn 1 billion in like 3 years. So during that 3 years, will the whole world also gauge my performance on those numbers? I have to make my interest payments. Will the bank understand that, okay, since now my profits are coming in over a longer period of time, I can also pay back my interest in a longer period of time? So these are the real issues. When you want to design a circular economy, it's not about only the producers. It's about the lenders who are financing us. It's about the users who utilize our products. And it's going to be a huge exercise which one country cannot, manage. Now, coming back to your question, we are already at all the design stages or all the stages of our value chain, starting from raw material, because of the buyer-driven preferences of European Union, because we are exporting a lot to European Union, like China and Japan and many other countries. Those countries have already put in a lot of certification requirements. We are supposed to get cotton which is organic, which is produced in a sustainable way. We are already doing that. They want us to use recycled material. So what we have done is that we have already improved our whole value chain, and the waste that was used to, fall down during the spinning process or dyeing or cutting and, weaving and knitting processes, all that post-industrial waste, or what you call the pre-consumer waste, is already being recycled and fed back into, our value chain. But again, that does not solve the issue. The European Union says, or the developed world says, that we need to divert all the textile waste from the landfill to our closed loop economy. In Pakistan, we are one of the biggest importers of second-hand clothing. The second-hand clothing that comes into Pakistan is coming from European Union and US. We don't have the major share. Major share of that goes into the Latin American countries. And out of the stuff that comes into Asia, we are one of the major importers. Those second-hand clothings, 90% of that clothes are already re-exported to Africa. And the 10% that is left, by law, those recyclers or sorters who are operating in the export processing zones in Karachi mainly, sell that second-hand clothing inside Pakistan, which goes into different types of markets like Landa Bazaar and so on and so forth. Keeping in view the economic condition of Pakistan, there is a huge market of second-hand clothes. So outrightly using all of that second-hand clothes and feeding that stock into recycling is also not preferable type of a policy. And that is also being understood in European Union and US, and they say that even in the US they have these charitable organizations who actually use these second-hand clothes and sell them to poor people who cannot afford these brands. When this EPR policy will come into place, and European Union, and probably by 2027, thinking that all of the Pakistani exporters now have to use the recycled content as a must. What will happen is that we have only that 10% available to us, which is also being sent to the poor community in Pakistan. And then we'll have to fight with those communities for my own profit, instead of selling that low-cost second-hand clothing to the people. I'll be asking that, no, I cannot give it to you. I have to shred it. I have to convert it into a raw material and again use it for myself. One other point is that there are a lot of design issues. They want us to prepare something durable, and then they also say that use recycled material. What happens is, this is something which is self-contradictory, in a way that if I shred a pant or a jeans or a shirt, due to that mechanical shredding procedure, the length of that staple reduces. And actually that length of the staple ensures the strength of the fabric. And if I'm not using virgin cotton and using that shredded, raw material coming out of that used material, that does not give me the strength which is required in a durable product. So you want me to produce something using a recycled material, and you want me to produce something which is durable? That is not going to happen with the current technology available anywhere in the world. So these are some types of bottlenecks. We need to ponder upon these questions before making any decisions and making the policy in a holistic way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed, sharing the difficult situation, actually, how challenges, but how the textile industry try to combat those challenges, because clothes are part of our daily life. It depends on the consumer selections, but the textile industry provides at least raw materials to produce the clothes. And as you mentioned, the jeans is one of the popular trust in the pants. And then it is quite a dilemma how to produce durable products, as well as how to produce recycled materials from jeans or any other clothes. And also there is a long supply chain that only, for example, producers cannot change any, producers cannot make any change without any collaboration with the supply chain companies. So that would be, I think, quite tough. And also the globally, at both upstream management and downstream management, that the textile industry need to work together at both upstream management and the downstream management globally. So it makes a bit the situation confused, a bit challenging. But I do hope that UNEP has the textile program, and we do work with the, but not textile industry, actually fashion industry, but the other side. But anyway, we also try to work with your industry, how we can support them from our side, then how we can promote the concept of athletic circularity and safe disposal for final disposal, as well as recycling of clothes to the consumer. So we are doing these campaigns at global level. So let's continue our important work together.
You already have a project, your UNEP already has a project by the name of ITEX, I guess.
Yeah.
Wherein you are already working on this circular textiles with India.
Yes.
I would, by using this forum, I would like to request.
Yes.
You are probably heading that project, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So we have good team actually to combat common issues. Yeah, thank you. Also, Zainam, thank you so much for your input. Then let me ask the same question to Shikishi. I don't know, sorry, how to call it? Wakar. Wakar, okay, Wakar, yeah. But first, I'd like to say that I enjoy something with your products every meal. Like a coffee, other meals, ready-meals, foods. So I enjoy something your products at every meal. But in other words, you have global power or influence to change consumers' behavior by providing something or to sharing some new messages. Because Nestle is the global companies. And then, for example, to be honest, I have many international missions. But if I go to the supermarkets, I always trust your products because I know only Nestle. I don't know the other local.
That's a great appreciation.
But anyway, so that is one example for me.
Thanks to
Yeah, sorry for that. So that my point is that the global companies has quite the influential power to change people's behavior and policy, as well as technology side. So then let me ask same question, but could you respond to your context? So how does Nestle design the transition to a circular economy in South Asia? Thank you.
It's working now. Thank you very much, Mr. Honda. First of all, I think thank you for his admiration and appreciation for Nestle products. And I'm sure everyone sitting here, and we believe everyone enjoy those products, and we try to be as responsible as possible. So I think, so your question is very pertinent. And as the bigger you are, responsibility also grows with it. So as one of the largest food company in the world, it is our responsibility to play as responsible as possible and play our role not only where we are operating, like in Pakistan, but also globally in as many countries as we are. And in this neighborhood of South Asia, we have a very strong presence. So I think, and I think that's what Nestle justifies as well. Not only delighted consumers through its products, but also seed in these thoughts that, why responsible behaviors why shared values are important for every one of us. And it starts from as a manufacturer from our side, and then the consumers who are consumer our products. So first of all, I think which is very critical, and I think for people to know, for any product or any packaging material to be recycled, it needs to be designed for recycle. And if it's not designed for recycle, means a cup or a bottle, if it's not designed for recycle, then you cannot recycle it, you have to burn it, which means you create a lot of emissions. So there's a lot of focus of Nestle to make sure that our products, the packaging materials that we are using, are designed for recycling. And probably we are at the highest end of this FMCG food companies with maximum products or the packaging materials that we're using, those are designed for recycling. That's number one. So that's the kind of sending a message to consumer that, you know, that the packaging material they're using, they are designed for the specific reason. But then there's a consumer behavior, and then it cannot be happen in isolation. We try to not influence, but work very closely with the governments also in our individual capacity as Nestle to make sure that, you know, government comes up with the policies where those kind of behaviors can be promoted. But of course, those need to be responsible, and those need to be in the local context as well. For example, the kind of advanced collection and recycle mechanism available in the West, probably in Japan or South Korea, it may not exist here. So we cannot push consumers and we cannot push government to go to that far, and vice versa for us, that, you know, even if we want to do it, there are certain kind of challenges and obstacles are there. But still we try to push it. And then when we understand we can't do it alone, we believe it's a collective action that we have to take. We have to build alliances, and these alliances should not be only with the private sector companies. These alliances requires non-profits like a think tank like SDPI, WWF, a global organization like UNDP, also likes of us like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Tetra, Unilever. These are the big brands who are available on your, so if you admire my brand, you may be admiring Unilever brands as well. Right? So, and we need to work together. And then it doesn't stop there. We need to include recyclers, right? So we need bigger packaging companies as well, so that, you know, with our demand, what consumer is demanding from us, we need those kind of packaging material also. So we have to work with our partners and back end also. So it's a very collective action. So one is the policy that we drive by engaging with the government. You know, what are the best practices that Nestle is working around, and government of Pakistan in this case needs to adopt. But then as I said, it cannot be happen in isolation. We go for alliances. So for that, we have created an alliance. That's the second hat that I wear, other than Nestle, is it's called CORE, Collect and Recycle Alliance, right? And today we have 29 members, and with this all categories. And we work very closely with the government. So one of the challenges which triggered this alliance was that most of the food companies feel pressure that, you know, our packaging material need to be recycled. We must use recycled material. But that requires some policy framework also in this country. Unfortunately, 3 years back, this country has no framework available where you can safely use recycled plastic materials into your packaging. So we worked very closely for 2 years convincing government for many social reasons and all those reasons. And we gave them examples of as religious countries like Saudi Arabia, where we are very much aligned by religion, but as good examples in US, Japan, that how those countries have advanced to start using recycled materials. And that's helped us reduce, plastic materials sending outside, because that goes towards circular as well. So we helped government to change the law. And that happened 3 years back, which helped today my competition as Nestle, but as a member core, Pepsi and Coke have taken a lead. And similarly, Nestle now coming up with the recycled plastic in packaging material. But that could have only happened when we have those policy framework available. So I think sometimes you need those kind of policy framework. But that was only happened because we like-minded organizations in different sizes and different parts of the life, they all got together and convinced the government. And government also showed very openness on that. So that's one part. So that helped. Now, even we started from the design for recycling and then, reduced use of virgin plastic in our packaging materials. The next bigger challenge is what our colleague just talked about, the EPR. So extended producer responsibility, where all these big players and government believe in EPR, we need to understand our local mechanism also. We can't do it if you announce today, it should start happening tomorrow. It's not possible. We have examples where West took decades to do it. Our neighboring India has came up with a law. They're still going through a transition. It took them 10 years. So there are pockets that need to be done. And fortunately, unfortunately, in Pakistan, the bigger challenge is decentralization of provinces. Now, environment is a provincial subject. Even if I convince the federal government to come with the EPR law, if provinces are not equally convinced, they may take a different direction or a different kind of EPR, which may involve one plastic or one kind of material. For me, it was quite a learning experience on textiles today by our colleague. So you don't know what they will add and what they will exclude from those EPRs. So that's why harmonization you mentioned about is very critical for countries like Pakistan, where we have 5 provinces and 5 environmental agencies. They need to talk to each other under the umbrella of the federal government, and where I think SDPI and Zainab is taking a lead, and we all looking towards one kind of EPR, not exclusive, inclusive of all those thoughts that people are providing, and looking at the local realities. If that is possible, then yes, companies are very responsible. Like, for example, just a symbolic number, if I have 10,000 tons of packaging material I'm using, I may take the responsibility of those 10,000 tons. And I'll take the responsibility of only one location that, as a Nestle, I'll do it here. Pepsi will do another, city, and, Tetra will do somewhere else, or Unilever will just do another location. So we can all share the responsibilities. And then again, it cannot be done in isolation if our consumers are not prepared. If they don't, segregating their waste at home, so whatever they'll go to the garbage will, and it goes mixing, that's a bigger challenge. And I was mentioning to you, even today, unfortunately in Pakistan, our collection system is still not segregated at the collection level also. Even as I'm the best responsible consumer, and I make sure I have created 4 different kind of packs, someone who comes to collect garbage, he will mix it all and take it away. And then they try to do it on the sides. So I think there's a responsibility and kind of EPR system that we have to adopt. We need to learn from others. There are some very good examples. Within Nestle world, we were told Vietnam has the best EPR law in Asia, which is doing very well. Then the Thailand is doing very well on the EPR as well. So I think we need to adopt those kind of laws. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Probably 3 or 4 or 10 people sitting on a table, they can see the best laws, draw the best thing out of it, and share it with the government. And then I think the last part is EPR. And EPR cannot be passed on only to the private sector. Government has to take a lead. Because waste is not like packaging waste. There's a textile, there's a pharma, there's so many. There's solid waste like, construction waste. Probably all these kind of waste are mixed up everywhere. So for segregation, I think we need involvement of all those partners under one roof. Of course, that government can only do it. For the Core Alliance, we are more like FMCG is more, but though we have a very interesting membership, we have Jazz, the largest cellular company in Pakistan. They are a member of ours. Total Parco, they are a member of ours. So we are very diverse. 1 or 2 banks are joining us. We are pushing textile companies. So we are hoping to 1 or 2 big textile giants to join us also. So I think it's a more collective, shared responsibility that we have to focus on this specific area, because this is a challenge for everyone. If today someone says, no, this is a challenge for me and not for you, no. We all need clean places. We all need our waste to be managed, but we all need to behave responsibly. Companies have to behave responsibly, and which every company, all large companies like Nestle, we have our targets. For example, we're looking at by 2030, we'll be total neutral company in terms of packaging waste. Whatever goes out will be collected and recycled. And I'm sure other large companies have these kind of targets. And we are adhering to those targets because those are the global commitments. And there is not like it will be done in US, it will not be done in Pakistan. It's everywhere. So I think those kind of behaviors by consumers, responsibility by the companies, and then conducive laws by the government, which help us sit at one place and deliver this challenge of waste, or you can say deliver us a future of waste-free future. That's what we all look at. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, thank you, Waka, for your input. So I can't summarize very simple words, but if I try to use a simple word, everyone need to change behavior at a different level.
And collective approach.
Yeah, collective approach. And it takes more than one generation period, probably normally. After UNEP was watching the example in the past. But at least if we look at the future, we can make it possible. So I do hope that we here, Pakistan and the South Asian countries would continue working our efforts to combat our society to circular economy, eventually which contribute to reduction of the carbon dioxide that we need to achieve at the end of this century. So then we have around 10 more minutes then. Yes, so how can I call him?
Farheen Zahoor from Yunus Textile Mills Limited.
Yeah.
So she's also a speaker in case there was a perspective that we wanted to get around, being a private sector textile company. How does she see or perceive the transition towards circular economy?
Okay.
So if Farheen, if you have heard, you're the last speaker for this session, and then we'll be doing an open round for maybe 2-3 questions, and then we can request Mr. Dhaniram to conclude. Thank you, Farheen. So same question that Dr. Honda asked from you also, please.
Thank you, Zainab, for asking for my opinion. I think Mr. Hassan Shafqat has covered almost all the points that are relevant with the textile industry in terms of circularity. As he said that, I echo the same thing, that for us, circularity is primarily driven by the customers. And the customers currently are playing very safe in terms of circularity. They're asking for recycled content, but only up to 20%. And then there are a lot of trade-offs in applying recycled material in the product, as Mr. Hassan said. So all these challenges are here. And in terms of recommending policy, I would say that we are very much in the infancy to recommend anything. Once the things on the legislation part and the customer parts get more clear, then only we can see how can we respond to that and what is needed on the policy level. So that's the only thing that I want to point out here. And just one opinion and view in terms of using recycled material, especially polyester in fabric. In terms of textile, we believe that the better use of recycled polyester would be in some product that from there it can be recycled more. Instead of using recycled material or polyester specifically in a fabric, for one time only. Once the fabric has been made, it is becoming extremely difficult to separate that. So as many of you said that products should be designed for recycling. So yes, that should be the way of thinking towards circularity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry for I forgot about your presence. Thank you. Sorry. So then let me ask to our chair, or we have to open the floor first?
Maybe we can take 1 or 2 questions.
Okay, floor, yeah.
around 10 minutes late, so we can see for like.
Okay, yeah, so then let me open the floor for quick question, probably one or two quick question. Well, please keep raising hand, maybe you, and one more, maybe I can accept. Okay, so let me close the list of the questions, so please. And please introduce yourself and ask your question also addressed to whom. Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Hassan Chaudhary. I am a student of Bahia University. My question to you is that after every few days, we are into another conference, another summit, not just in Pakistan, but throughout the world, and we are continuously discussing the same thing over and over again. With regards to South Asia specifically, majority of the countries are in a burden of debt already, debt trap. And our priorities after COVID especially are poverty alleviation. Now, with that being set as the background, how can we pay the upfront payments for the plants, the recycling plants, the infrastructure of the circular economy, while we already have the burden of poverty and the debt on our countries already? Thank you.
So my name is Mohammed bin Shahzad. I am heading sustainability at Tetra Pak, and I agree to most of the things that all the experts have said today. And I have been doing a lot of work in this circular economy thing within my organization, and I study it for the different sectors as well. So my question in here is for everybody in the room is to come up with some consensus that at the current moment, talking about packaging, textiles, or any other sector, the price of the recycled material or the recycled goods that we are making is more or less higher than the price of virgin material, which make the recycling business unviable. So what are the global methodologies that the developed and advanced countries have used to reduce that imbalance? Because if this imbalance will be get fixed, then it will ultimately solve most of the problems that we are facing. So my colleague has told about the quality deterioration on every recycling in the textile sector. Same goes for other materials and packaging. Even in case of PET, we can't recycle it for a number of times. For example, in case of paper, we can't recycle it the number of times because the quality deteriorates. But the process is intensive, it's expensive. The chemical recycling techniques are also nascent and expensive. So how can we be able to bridge that imbalance? This is the question.
Yeah, so thank you. I think probably for the first question, Mini and Bao can respond probably from the research side. And for second question regarding the recycling cost or its externality, Mohammed and Raka maybe, Wako, sorry, maybe question you share on that?
Actually, what my research is all about, and I'm happy that to have someone in the same page with me. Actually, I have working in the Ministry of Finance for more than 13 years in my country, and what I have observed from the work that I have already done and from my research as well, when it comes to climate change or circular economy, it's not that easy for us to convince the government or the policymakers to bring these things into the policies. Because as I already told you that our development priorities are really different. We are in a debt trap. Whether we like it or not, it's not easy for us to get away with these things. But as researchers or the people, I'm representing one of the think tanks. So as researchers, if we can get the governments to make these national development frameworks, if we can get these new concepts into the national development agenda, I think this is the initial point. Because today our session is all about getting these design in the circular economy. And okay, we as a region, we can design, but what happened at the end, if we have a design policy, but if this policy wanted to be implemented, We need to get these things into the agenda, the policy, our medium-term policy framework, then the annual budgets. But the people who are handling these things, I'm not blaming them, because in the Ministry of Finance, they are coming with different background. They are coming with accountancy or economics background, but most of these things we are discussing here come with kind of scientific background, if I am to say. So there is a knowledge gap. So that's what I'm saying, that we need to bridge this gap. There is a real need for capacity improvement, and we need to work with successful countries, especially we have in the region, Japan, China. If we can work with these countries, we can improve ourselves. And it is not only up to the policymakers or the public sector, and there is a bigger role to be played by the media as well. For in our countries now, it is not only the traditional media and social media, it plays a bigger role. My country is one of the best examples, and Nepal and South Asian region, I don't know. This is like now we started, I don't know whether the others are following us, but unfortunately the social media, our government, maybe as researchers, we are thinking whether the government is trapped in this social media bubble. We need to come away from this one, and we need to communicate the real things, the scientific things with the public. Because without the support of the public, as Mr. Waka said, we sort out our waste, but when it comes to waste collection, again, it's something else. They are redoing these things. So we need to, not only the policymakers and the public sector, but the general public, they need to be increase their knowledge as well. So the media, they need to be very careful here. Although you wanted to make profits, it is not only the profits, it's not only for the national or the state media, but even the private sector media channels, they have a responsibility, because we are saying that we are in the public debt, there's a debt trap. Okay, then to which projects we have spent this much of money? And we are saying that we can't get the circular economy, as Mr. Mohammed said, those are expensive. And even we have like things that have been like produced from recycled products. When it comes to the market, their cost is very high. I mean, the price is very high. What about the cost of production? So these are the things that even in the social media, we could have started arguments on these aspects. But unfortunately, it is not happening. So as a region, having knowledge is not only enough. We need to like have some kind of pace, the correct things or the integrity. These are simple things, but as a region, I think our education systems need to be, change. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Because we don't have enough time, so let's go to the second question. So, Mohammed or Waka, could you quickly respond the second question on the recycling cost, or share your view? Thank you.
I'll just make a quick comment on the previous question also. I'll give you an example. You might have heard of the term CBAM, Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, wherein European Union has put in a tax for carbon intensive products that have been produced by processes which are, carbon intensive. In that policy, they have also mentioned that the cost of that duty that will be charged, 60% of that cost will be borne by the importer, the buyer that is sitting in the European Union, and 40% will be, 40 or 35% will be responsibility of the producer. Same can happen in EPR, the extended producer responsibility. We have heard, what I've read probably recently, they have planned that they will be putting in a duty of around 0.07 euro to 2.12 euros per kg of duty on each product that is coming in without using recycled content. So there is an opportunity over here. We can request our government that we can take this issue up with the European Union and request that instead of passing on all of that cost to a producer present in Pakistan or any other country, we could, ask European Union to break up that cost, and that cost could be shared by the importer or the buyer sitting in the European Union. One. The other was investment. Since we are already, as Farheen was also mentioning, because of the requests or requirements of our buyers, we are already doing everything. We are using green technologies. We have zero discharge of hazardous chemicals. We use back all the water that is used in our processes. We are not, throwing away polluted water in the ecosystem. So all those requirements of, using renewable technologies, renewable resources, we are already fulfilling them. But what happens is when that has a cost, which is then translated into the final product, and then you say that there is a premium charged because of that recycled product. We can ask our government that, I'm talking about Pakistan right now. In Pakistan right now, we have the highest, one of the highest costs of business. And when I have to compete, I don't have to compete with local manufacturers. I have to compete with, somebody who's manufacturing in Sri Lanka, in Japan, in India or Bangladesh. If you compare the numbers, the cost of electricity, for instance, in India is 7 cents per kilowatt hour. In Bangladesh, it's 9 cents. For Vietnam, I guess it's again around 7 cents. In Pakistan, it's 13 cents per kilowatt hour, which has just recently came down to 13 cents. It was around 16 cents previously. Recently, the government, you must have heard, they have reduced the cost of energy. So what the government can do is they can make the cost of doing business in Pakistan regionally competitive. If they do that, we'll have enough profit margin to reinvest into these kind of technologies and R&D, wherein we can find some new, more efficient, cost-effective way of recycling technology to produce these products who are durable and at the same time of a low cost. So that will be my response. You are also, your question was, can you just briefly reiterate what you were asking shortly?
It was again on the same thing that currently, not even in Pakistan, but globally, the price of the recycled product that we are making are generally higher than the virgin alternate, the best alternate available.
So I've already touched it that we need to have R&D into this sector. European Union countries in Europe, like France and Netherlands and many other countries, they are already, trying to find out ways wherein they, decouple cotton and polyester from a fabric that is, since my field, in a way that it does not lose its quality. When this technology comes in, hopefully we'll be able to scale it and probably reduce the cost. And until that time, I would request the government to, get us some type of, negotiation with the government of the European Union. Thank you.
10 seconds, please. Could you use the microphone? I can't.
I would like to follow up two of your discussion, like a point, because I feel some contradiction. Because one of you, she mentioned that our countries are debt, and another one you mentioned our countries need to give more support to the business sector. For me, I feel why our countries are debt, because always giving free service, free support, the countries cannot live. So I think that's what I'm thinking. We are the middle with the governments because if when I looking at the business thing, so you mentioned like maybe electricity fee or something. I think that is the rate that Pakistan can give you the not profit, at least not loss. If it is reduced and given like Vietnamese rice, 7, maybe Pakistan had to lost. Then it's debt, so they had to take it from someone. So I think how to make this balance through the circular economy, I feel the challenge maybe. But business sector, how to manage that so far is very important. And the government give benefit to the social sector is another one. So I think something different discussions we need to look at in there. Yeah. Yes. Oh, so.
So our chair, can you hear us?
Yes, moderator. Yes, I am listening.
Yeah, could you summarize our discussion and give you your final remarks? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The session was so interesting. I would like to thank the moderator for your excellent moderation. I would also like to express my appreciation to all the speakers for your valuable, important remarks, points. Since we are running out of time, I will not speak much. What I found during the session is that the common point of the session is that we need to have circular economy. This is not immediately that we can convert our economy into the circular. That's why the topic is transition to the circular economy. So this is a long standing, or this is a kind of, it takes time, but the discussion was so important. We have diverse opinion about how we can move forward. Whether in the policy perspective, how the government can have the policy to move forward in research and development, what is the role of the government, what is the role of the private sector. So these are some diverse opinion that we have had this during the session, but overall the discussion was so much interesting. This is not the issue of any particular country. This is a common issue of the world, global issue, that we should have sustainable development. We need to reduce the carbon emissions. So I think this is the right time, right way to think in designing this kind of circular economy. The countries, they can align the standards, they can share the technology, and also they can coordinate in investment. One thing that we did not discuss during the session is that it also helps in establishing some equity or inclusion in the society. For example, in South Asia, there are millions of informal waste pickers. So through designing this kind of integrating this kind of mechanism, we can also formalize the livelihoods, and also we can improve the health of those waste pickers, and we can create some inclusion or some equity in the society. This is also important point when we discuss about the circular economy. So overall, what I found is that the issue is so pertinent, and we need to have this kind of roadmap. We need to discuss in the regional perspective, and we can go in an integrated way to establish circular economy in the South Asia. So this is what I wanted to share at the end, because I spoke in the beginning. I expressed some opinion in the beginning, so I don't want to repeat this. So once again, I would like to thank all the speakers, moderators, and participants for your valuable presence, for your valuable remarks. in this very crucial agenda. So with this, let me adjourn today's session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. With this, we conclude the session. I hope you have all enjoyed the session. We have another session tomorrow on, informal sector with the and also Dr. Honda. If you would like to invite.
Yes, so give me half minute without any slides. So UNEP and SDPI will be implementing the project on plastic waste recycling in coming months to promote recycling at small and medium enterprises. But we need your expertise, knowledge, information. So I hope that we can organize stakeholder meeting like this in coming months, probably. So that everyone can get together again. So I will come back to Pakistan again to support, to work together to combat the common challenges on the plastic pollution, in particular by promoting plastic waste recycling. So that is the last announcement today. So let me back to microphone to Zainab. Thank you.
Thank you to the online speakers and the participants here. You can join us over tea. And we are now going to be having a live fireside chat session. I know I've put you on the spot, but that's the purpose of putting you on the spot. Around maybe let's see what Nestle is having the topic for discussion at the fireside chat session. You can view in the lobby on the SMDs. The session will be live and on our socials as well. And in the evening, we have Agenda 2030 and beyond. So what is to be expected after, Agenda 2030 is wrapped up? Senator Shahri Rahman will be joining us. Dr. Ishrat Hussain is there. Plus, we have South Asian speakers too. So do join us and have a good evening, everyone.